Nithyananda. My name is Nithyananda. I'm a sannyasini living here in my most favorite place in the whole wide world, Bengaluru Adinam. So I have come here from Melbourne, Australia, and I've been a sannyasini of Swamiji's for about a year and a half now. So for those of you that have watched maybe some of my previous videos, I'm making one after a bit of a break. And it actually feels good to be filming again. So being in Bengaluru Adinam, which is obviously the home place of Swamiji, there's always a lot of things constantly happening, many programs, and we have in December coming up yet to be the greatest inner awakening program that Swamiji has ever hosted, which will be Mahasadashivoham. So for those that watched a recent weekend, I don't think it was a webinar, it was more a workshop, where Swamiji was actually explaining the 11 states of consciousness. This program, Mahasadashivoham, will be us actually learning more about these 11 states and experiencing them for ourselves. So there are many powers, many shaktis that are available to us. When I say us, all of humanity, mankind, that unfortunately we haven't been aware of, but they're there. And many of these shaktis, these powers that we have, are expressed through our third eye. So this space between the two eyebrows, known as the third eye. So those that are familiar with Swamiji and understand what he's been doing with third eye awakening will have some appreciation of the magnitude of what it is. Those that have actually experienced any breakthrough with seeing through their third eye will know exactly what I'm talking about and will understand how exciting this is. So there's many, like I said, many shaktis that we can express through the third eye alone. So one of them is with our eyes blindfolded, we can actually read through our third eye. And in one of the most recent workshops, which was, I don't know if it was last weekend or perhaps the weekend before, Swamiji initiated everyone into the power of mind reading. So I just wanted to share this experience with you all because it was kind of, I mean, a very cool one for me. So while this was happening, I was traveling from here to Australia. And one of the things that I experienced was, and see, this is something that I've always had with me, even as a young girl. I was always sensitive to the emotions of people around me. So, for example, I could very easily sense, especially in people that were very, like, when I say close to me, that I felt a strong connection to, like my mom or my dad or my brother or any of my relatives or any of my dear friends. I could sense a change in their emotions, which would kind of affect me, especially if it was from a positive to a negative. I was very sensitive to these changes and I could feel them and they would affect my inner space, especially if I could sense that my parents were having an argument, or even if they weren't actually arguing, I could perceive that shift in them. And so this is something, like I said, I've always had with me. This, I don't know if you want to call it intuition, or I don't know, I don't really know how to verbalize it or label it, but anyhow, it's something that's been innate and something that I can recognize about myself from a very young age. So anyway, going back to this story of, so I'm going back to Australia and I was sitting on the plane getting ready for departure, and so also to let you guys know, I've been living in this Adinam for quite some time now. So it's been about a year and a half that I've been staying here and really intensely nurturing this seeking inside of me. And anyhow, so I'm on this plane and so it's been a long while also since I can say that I've, I don't know how to verbalize it, interacting with the outside world, if that's how we want to say it. Not like there's an outside world as such, but a world that's more asleep rather than awake, if that, hopefully that makes sense. So anyhow, I'm sitting on this plane, and a gentleman came and sat down next to me, and I was just looking outside the window. And as I was looking outside the window, it was almost like what was downloaded into me was I could feel like a hormonal rush, and I could perceive the thought current of, wow, she's really attractive. And just that when someone's admiring someone else, and it was like an instant thing. And I'm looking out the window, and I thought, oh, that's really strange that this is just downloaded into me, like in this space of whatever, meditation or whatever I was in, just a no thought zone. And then I looked to my left, and I could see that this gentleman sitting next to me was at that time looking at the air hostess who was sitting in or standing in front of him. And just by his body language and the look on his face, I understood that, oh wow, so I've completely absorbed what he was thinking and feeling right then and there. And I thought this was a little bit strange because, yes, I have been expressing shaktis or powers through the third eye, but I had the cognition that this is more akin to mind reading. So not something that we've really been initiated into by Swamiji. And then I thought, but nothing surprises me. The power of intuition and the powers that express through the third eye, they're always more than what I can ever expect they will be, right? So this kind of thought current was in me that, all right, even if Swamiji hasn't initiated us into this, it's most likely a possibility that this is something that we can express through the third eye, and I don't doubt that it's exactly what's happened there. So funnily enough, so I think that was on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and that weekend itself, Swamiji initiated everyone during this workshop into this power of mind reading. So it's another very cool thing of actually being one of Swamiji's sannyasis. So when we take the vows of sannyas, of monastic Hindu lifestyle, we literally become the direct extensions of Swamiji. So after he gives us this initiation, and after taking these vows, I've never ever had a fear that even though I might not physically be around Swamiji, or even though he might not physically initiate me into a particular power, I don't doubt that if it's available to him and if it's something that he's bringing to the world, I have just such a strong knowing that what is his is already mine. This umbilical cord connection that I have with him, that I have with my master, distance, time and space, nothing can affect it. It can't sever that tie, and nothing can actually affect that tie. So, and I actually didn't, that weekend itself that workshop was happening, I also wasn't there to, when he gave the initiation online, I wasn't physically present for that even, but I had no doubt that it's already there inside of me. I already have, like I said, whatever is his is already mine. So whatever shaktis he's bringing to the world, whatever he's revealing from the agamas, I have no fear that I'll ever miss out on anything, or even if I'm not there for that time, it will somehow manifest or make its way to me. So I just wanted to let you all know that yes, this is something that is possible. It's something that we can all do. It's not just there for a few select people on the planet Earth. It's not something that you're born with. It's something that everyone has, and it just needs to be awakened. And it's also something that you should all experience for yourself. So if you're watching this, there is no such thing as a coincidence. It means that you've been brought here for a reason. If my words are resonating with you, it means that you're actually being called for this. So consciousness is waking up. It's expressing itself through all of us in a world where many people are just walking around like zombies, living their lives in such an unconscious way. We have beings like us that are waking up and that want to really experience what is the reality of the universe. And I can't, I don't know what the word is, I can't call you enough, or I can't advise you strongly enough that, like I said, if you are watching this, to please not take it for granted. Register for one of these workshops. Come and see us at Mahasadashivoham. Set your intention. If you need any help in manifesting this reality, there's so many of us, myself included, that can get in touch with you and make it happen for you. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll leave this open for any questions that you might have, and I look forward to seeing everyone here very soon for this amazing Mahasadashivoham starting in December. Nithyanandam.